Welcome back to my next playthrough series. This time we're back to Waste Nights, and we're going to be doing the scenario called Safe Haven. It's the next one in the book. We did a couple of opening sort of solo adventures. I'm going to be doing a two-player game of this one. So let's, I guess, just get right into it. It's a narrative, sort of story-based game. So let's just dive right in. We're going to take a look at what Safe Haven's all about. Then we're going to look at our two characters after we read that. We're going to be playing with Noelle Thompson, the stalker, Lisa Gomez, the scout. So let's zoom in here and have a look at Safe Haven. So right off the bat, you can see it's around a 3-hour game, 2 to 4 players. I'm going to be doing a 2-player, and it's called an easy scenario. So Safe Haven, we've got a nice little graphic here. You saw at the start of the video as well. It says, after the cataclysmic ocean receded, several massive warships were stranded in the shallows near Perth. Their crews quickly understood that their duty ended and chose to found a new city in the outskirts of the ruined metropolis. Now, people from all over Australia make pilgrimages to get scrap metal and parts scavenged by an army of dirty workers who disassemble the rusted ships into the name of their uniformed masters. And we're going to take a look at the rest of this. Alright, some more text. As your last contract was easy. Escort a caravan of steel merchants headed for Perth. The traders were supposed to spend at least a week in the city looking for valuable goods, while their bodyguards would idle their time away in local joints. However, you chose to look for another job, and here you are walking through the bottom. This place used to be underwater. Now it's a neighborhood inhabited by the lowliest of workers, living in the huts made of plastic rubbish surrounded by gigantic piles of scrap metal. Towers of junk reach high, as if about to fall and bury the whole area under an avalanche of steel. You stop in the first bar and sit on some old tires that the owner fancies to call chairs. This place is full of ragamuffins. They're drinking local booze and eating corn crumpets. You're here for less than a minute, and already some strangers at your side. He's a bald, pockmarked, with a scar on his neck, dirty hands, rift of nails, and broken nose. Want a drink? He asks you, waving a pre-scourged bottle full of clear liquid. So we get to choose. We can tell him to buzz off, we're busy. We're going to see one, or we can pour us one, why not? Oh boy, do we want to tell him to buzz off? Well, let's be friendly for now. We're going to say, pour us one, why not? See page 50. Alright, so we've decided to have a drink with the ragamuffin, but you know what we're going to do first before we get into entry number 50 is we're going to go take a look at our two characters, Noelle Thompson and Lisa Gomez. I've got them all set up all ready to go. I've played this a couple of times, so I'm not going to go through the whole setup of characters, but we are going to take a look at them and see what equipment they have, what abilities they have, and such, and then we'll get to entry number 50. Alright, so first up we have Noelle Thompson. She's our stalker, and I'm not going to go through everything in great detail. We've played the game a couple times before here on my channel, but we'll go over a couple of things briefly. She's starting with a pistol. She's got a pistol and a knife, and she has trash armor. And we're going to see how all that functions while we're playing the game. Her special ability says, when performing the move action, you may spend 2 movement points to enter a crater space, but you cannot end your move in a crater space. Normally you can't go through craters at all, but our stalker Noelle Thompson can. Everyone starts out with 2 gas cans, 2 medicine, and 2 ammunition. You use ammunition, of course, to fire your firearm. 0 experience and 7 health for her. And she's got a dirt bike. We can choose which vehicle we want. I figure for her, a dirt bike probably be a good thing to have. So she has 2 slots for gas cans. They're both full at the moment. The dirt bike is light, and it has a little bit of special text on there. Basically says, when performing the move action, you spend 1 movement point less, to a minimum of 1, to enter mountains and scrub, which is really cool because normally mountains and scrub cost you 2 movement points to move into, but with the dirt bike, it only costs you 1. And it can carry 3 things in the saddlebags, I guess, or backpack, whatever you're using. And it has a movement value of 4. The chassis, though, is only 3, so it can't take a lot of damage before it's destroyed. So we've got to kind of keep an eye on that. And if you spend a gas can, you get to go 2 more movement points. And to repair it costs 1 repair point to do that. And we have a camp action, repair costing 3, exploration 3. Anyway, we'll get into all these details as we play the game. So that's Noelle Thompson. Let's take a look now at Lisa Gomez. Alright, next up we have Lisa Gomez, and of course they have their little miniatures. I didn't really zoom in on them. Lisa Gomez looks like this, which is nice because they match the picture, and we didn't quite look at Noelle Thompson. We'll take a quick look at her. She'll be in green. matching her picture as well. All right, so Lisa Gomez, again, these values will make sense when we're doing encounters and such. So she starts off with a pistol as well, but she's got a barbed wire club. She's a little bit more of a bruiser, and she's got a vest, which can block a bit more damage. So her special ability, it says, after you defeat your enemy in combat during your turn, you may perform one additional action once per turn. So that's pretty cool. So I do believe everyone's got two actions you can perform on your turn. 2 actions. And we'll take a look at what the actions are here just in a second. So again, 0 experience. Of course, you level up at 3, 6, and 9. And by leveling up, you'll get special cards, etc., etc. Again, we'll see as we play the game. And she's going to be starting off with an off-road vehicle. Basically a little Jeep. She's got 2 gas cans, 2 ammo, 2 medicine as well. She can carry 5 things in the Jeep. 5 extra item cards. And it has a movement of 4. Chassis 5, a little bit tougher vehicle. And you can spend 1 gas can to get 2 more movement points. Well, that's Lisa Gomez. All right, let's go over. We're going to take a quick look at what a knight can do on their turn, and then we're going to get into number 50, where we're sharing a drink with the Ragamuffin. All right, let's hope this zooms in pretty well. So this is a knight's turn. You could perform up to 2 different actions. You have a move action, a camp action, an explore action, a city action, city only, of course. And you can visit 2 different shops when you are in the city as a city action. Then a plot action, again, that's specific to the scenario, and a special action also specific to the scenario description. And this is the map legend, so it costs you nothing to go across highway locations, 1 for desert, 2 for scrub, but of course if you have the dirt bike, you can just spend 1 for scrub areas, impassable for a crater, unless you're Noelle Thompson, who is able to do that. And mountains are 2 movement points as well. And this city is just a city location. Cost per terrain type shown next to the city. So yeah, each city has a little icon beside it. Tells you if it's scrub or mountain or desert, whichever. So that's basically what you can do at a knight's turn. And then there's a whole combat rules section as well. How you do that, check enemy traits. I'm not going to read through it all, but it tells you the combat traits. How to do that when we get into combat. Will we get into combat? Of course we will. This is Waste Knights. All right, we're now going to consult number 50 in the giant Waste Knights guidebook here. And we're going to see what it has to say. All right, so we're off to entry 50, Safe Haven. It says, you're drinking. The booze is mild and strong. It makes you smile for no reason. You're chatting. The man tells you about Perth, the ruined downtown where you still find shades of old inhabitants, the shipyard where the former military built a fortress inaccessible to common people. When it gets late, your new companion offers you a place for the night. You follow him, laughing and singing. He takes you to a small bunkhouse built over an old fishing boat. It's dark inside, but you enter without hesitation. Then you lie down on some blankets strewn on the floor. Each knight suffers an experience point, then sets aside all their gear cards except for a knife, resources, and vehicle sheet. And then we go to see section 102. So basically we get an experience point for our drunken knight, but we lose all of our gear except for a knife. So let's go ahead and grab our experience points, and then we're going to take a look at 102. Alright, so we would remove the vest and that and everything, except for the vehicle and knife. I'm just going to leave it as is. We're going to get 1 experience point for Nellie, and we're also going to get 1 for Lisa. And we'll grab a quick experience point for Lisa. So we got experience for hanging out at the bars and talking to the local ruffian, Ragamuffin. Now let's go to section 102 and see what it's got to say in the book. Alright, so we're into section 102 in the book. It's a longer one. It says, you wake up on a boat, swaying gently on the waves. You look around half conscious. A very short man is sitting on a gunwale, a sawed-off shotgun close at hand. Another one is standing behind the steering wheel. Ropes bite deep into your wrists. You try to loosen them, but they're strong and tight. Easy, says the midget. His face is wrinkled like fingers held in water too long. We'll get there in a moment. You turn towards the direction a man is pointed with his chin. In the rays of the rising sun, you see a flat island overgrown with a toxic green forest, or maybe jungle. When you ask what's over there, yet another guy appears from below deck, as if just waiting to answer. He's wearing well-preserved leather clothes and has a revolver holstered on his belt. Garden Island, old military base, huge, untouched by the scourge, he says. You're our rent. They need humans. So we can choose together what we want to do. We can help you, we can say. Or this guy is close to the stairs. You can take him down. Choose one knight and C174. Or we can choose a knight equipped with a knife. That would be Nellie. One of you reaches for a knife and throws it at the man. You know what? I think we're going to see if we can help. We're going to help. You know, we've had a nice drunken night. We've got some free booze, I guess, from the Ragamuffin. So we're going to go to 132 and see what we do about helping the situation. So continuing on, 132, you help us how? The man can't stop himself from laughing. What's in the base, you ask? No one has ever come back alive, admits the man reluctantly. Well, hardly anyone. We don't know for sure. We'll check it out. If we get caught, we don't know each other. You've got nothing to lose. You decide to go all in. Your interlocutor ponders your words for a while, then yells at his companions to sail back. Are you really going to go inside? Are you mad? Half of what we find is ours, you say, almost dumbfounded by the thought about riches and you find in the untouched base. Okay then, says the man. Anyone can be sacrificed. And well, I've never met anyone like you before. Once you're back to shore, he organizes a meeting with the locals. They tell you all kinds of cock and bull stories about the inhabitants of the island, but you can sense the greed and need to see what's over there. They got a plan. There's an old bridge leading to the island. It's barricaded in the middle. With a proper vehicle and a bunch of daredevils, this might actually work. And then we get to setup. And if this will focus, we're going to go through the setup here. Focus! It'll say each knight retrieves a vehicle sheet, gear cards, and resources. And we're going to place 5 challenge tokens on the following spaces. I'll get to that. There are places where you might find lore about Garden Island. And then you put 5 tokens on these spaces. These are the places the locals advised you to visit. And then we go to the plot Dampier Road. So still much more to do for setup. Alright, so we're looking at Dampier Road, and we're going to place the knight figures on space 33. We'll see that here in a second. Place a time marker on 1 of the time track. We're going to see that too. Read the plot special rules below and begin the round. So quickly prepare to storm Garden Island from the land and survive there. Collect as many challenge tokens as possible in the shortest time possible. We got 2 players to try and do that. Plot special rules. Let's get to those. Alright, so we're taking a look at the plot special rules. Preparations only on a space with a challenge token. When you start performing this plot action, resolve the entry matching your space. So I put all the tokens out on the board, so when we get to example space 15, we're going to see 30. And then we have threat from the sea. The military base on Garden Island has woken up from its slumber, and a new threat has spilled out from its bowels. When the conditions described below occur for the first time, resolve the matching entry. So at the beginning of round 5, we're going to go to 343. At the beginning of round 8, we're going to go to 347. Let's take a look at the bottom part of Dampier Road, and then I think we're going to be starting the beginning of the game. Alright, so it says, if at the end of any round a conscious knight is present on 33, which is Perth, where we're beginning, and there's at least 2 challenge tokens, 1 for each player. In the plot sheet, the more the better, you may proceed if you do see 200. If any of the above conditions are not met at the end of round 10, you see 225. And if we get the special cards, like if we pull a C or an E out of encounter decks, exploration decks, then we're just going to see these entries. And that's what we do. So I'm going to zoom out, and we're actually going to wrap up for today. This is kind of the introduction and setup. And then when we come back in our next episode, we're going to start taking actions, trying to get to all those little exploration markers, and see if we can storm the island by a certain point in time before we have 10 rounds run out. Alright, so I'm zoomed way out, so we got the time marker starting here on 1. We have our 2 characters, Lisa and Nellie, here in Perth on space 33. And there are these tokens placed all over the board in appropriate areas. I can't get the entire board in because it's huge! So we are going to be spreading out as quickly as we can, traveling everywhere we can, getting to those exploration markers, or plot markers I should say, and gathering as many as we can to get back here before 10 rounds run out, and then see if we can complete the scenario Safe Haven. So thanks so much for watching along. Thanks for your comments, subscriptions, and likes. This is Waste Night 2nd Edition. We're playing the scenario Safe Haven 2-player game this time. And yeah, when I come back next time, which I don't know, we're into vacation time right here in the summer, and I'm working 40-hour weeks right now, and a lot of other things are happening off the side. So I'm going to try and get these episodes up as quickly as I can. But be patient, they may take a couple of days in between, or a few days. So thanks so much, and we'll see you next time for Waste Night 2nd Edition. We're playing Safe Haven.